Stream is up, everybody.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Karen. Good evening. This is the public session of the Holmdel Township Committee meeting scheduled for January 26, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. This meeting is being conducted on a remote electronic basis using Zoom with live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, and the regulations governing remote meetings, NJAC 5:39-1.5, I hereby announce that adequate notice and electronic notice of this meeting was provided in a notice dated January 6, 2021, that was sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, posted on the bulletin board and on the main access door of Township Hall, filed in the clerk's office, and posted on the township's website, www.holmdeltownship.com. Please be advised that the agenda for tonight's meeting is also available for download on the township website. Members of the public wishing to provide comment at the designated times may do so over the Zoom platform by clicking the raise hand button or by dialing *9 if accessing this meeting by telephone. Public commenters are asked to provide their name and address prior to comment and shall be limited to 3 minutes. Public comments may not include disruptive conduct such as profanity. Public commenters are reminded that this meeting is being live streamed over the internet, will be archived in the township's YouTube and Facebook pages, and that recordings of the public meeting are public records subject to the Open Public Records Act. Mr. Lucarelli?
Here.
Mr. Critelli?
Here.
Mr. Santana?
Here.
Ms. Weber?
Here.
Mayor Bontempo?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Everyone, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, liberty, justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence to honor our troops both home and abroad who work to protect us tirelessly each and every day. Thank you. So the first item on the agenda is a proclamation. I'd like to read into the record. Whereas radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that is the second leading cause of lung cancer, whereas prolonged exposure to radon can kill as many as 500 people in New Jersey each year, whereas families who reside in homes with elevated radon levels are at risk of developing serious health problems, whereas any home could have high levels even when neighboring homes do not, whereas radon testing can be done with great ease at a relatively low expense to the homeowner, with the cost of reducing radon concentrations being comparable to a home repair, whereas the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection and the United States Environmental Protection Agency are collaborating during the month of January to promote the need for radon testing in an effort to protect the lives of our state's residents. Now, therefore be resolved, I, Mayor Gregory Bontempo, and the Township Committee of Holmdel Township do hereby proclaim the month of January 2021 as Radon Action Month in the Township of Holmdel, and call upon all residents who have not yet done so to test their homes for radon and to reduce radon levels if elevated levels are found, to protect their families from serious health risk of radon. So I know that we have been proactive and we started a radon test kit distribution. I think it was around last Friday.
Around there.
Around there. And very grateful that residents are taking advantage of this program and checking the radon levels in their homes. So we wanted to put this on the record, and just as a reminder to anybody, if you have any questions via our website, you can call the administrative office and we will certainly give you guidance and direction on where you can obtain a radon testing kit. So thank you. With that being said, Wendy, you have approval of minutes?
Yep, the next order of business is approval of minutes from the November 24th, 2020 executive and public sessions, which were forwarded to the Township Committee previously for review.
Move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Critelli,
Yes.
Mr. Lucarelli,
I'm stating.
Mr. Santana,
Yes.
Ms. Weber,
Yes.
Mayor Bontempo.
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been successfully approved.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
So before we go into the agenda items, we are looking for any public comment on any items that are on the agenda that we're voting on this evening. So public comment on agenda items only.
The first public comment is James Yanello.
Good evening, everyone. James Yanello, 18 Ladwood Drive. Sharon, I want to thank you for moving forward with this memorial tree dedication program. We inquired about it, some of my neighbors, when we lost one of our neighbors on Christmas Eve. It was a big deal for us. And I'm just curious, the $1,000, because I have to answer to constituents, it seems a little high, but maybe it's not, because I realize you can't have everyone coming in for $300, $400, $500. Can you just help us understand the $1,000 number? Is it a decent sized tree? Like what's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, so the tree itself, it is, I mean, it's a sapling, but they're not like little baby trees. They look bigger. They are a few $100s, and then the labor, the maintenance, the installation of it, we have to purchase deer protection around it, the commemorative plaque that gets put into it. All of those, believe it or not, in government, things seem a little bit higher than probably anybody would do in their backyard. So our public works department looked at everything, looked at the cost of the tree, the cost of the plaque, the time and the labor and the installation, and it's really right around that $1,000 mark.
Okay, that's understandable. Thank you.
There are no other hands up at this time, Mayor.
Thank you, Carrie. I'll close public portion and have a motion for resolutions 2020-51 through 2020-66.
Move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Critelli,
Yes.
Mr. Lucarelli,
Yes.
Mr. Santana,
Yes.
Ms. Weber,
Yes.
Mayor Bontempo.
Yes.
Resolutions 2020-51 to 2020-66 have been successfully passed.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Next introduction ordinance, Wendy.
Next is the introduction of ordinance 2021-01, which is an ordinance authorizing the vacation of a portion of an easement across block 17.01, lot 12.17 on the tax maps of the Township of Holmdel. Motion to adopt on first readings and publish in the Asbury Park Press and set the public hearing for February 9th, 2021.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Critelli,
Yes.
Mr. Lucarelli,
Yes.
Mr. Santana,
Yes.
Ms. Weber,
Yes.
Mayor Bontempo.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-01 will be posted in the Asbury Park Press and set for the public hearing February 9th, 2021.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
We'll go to department updates. Bill, CFO, can I start with you tonight?
Yes, Mayor. Just one comment tonight, just a reminder to the taxpayers that the first quarter taxes and pilot payments are due on February 1st. You have a 10-day grace period until February 10th. However, it does have to be in the hands of the tax collector. Postmark will not count.
And Bill, with COVID, they could drop it off in the little silver box, right?
You can drop off the silver box in front of Town Hall again, but again, it has to be in there in the hands of the tax collector before 4:30 on the 10th. So you cannot drop it off on the night of the 10th.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else, Bill?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Administrator, any updates from you?
Just a couple of things I want to mention, and piggybacking off of Bill's comments, those are not our rules, those are state rules in terms of the deadlines. And so we can't adjust that anyway in terms of the grace period and when they need to be in. Additionally, we have our dog licenses. Everybody that has a dog in town should be registering their dog, and those are due by the end of the month, February 1st as well. And after February 1st, there are penalties for that. To the Radon Proclamation earlier this evening, I'm happy to report that through a grant, the township was able to purchase several radon tests. And once we started giving them out last week, as the mayor said, we've given out about 100 so far. We do still have some left. So any members of the public that would like a free kit, just call the administration office and we will put one aside from you. You can pick it up from our security at Town Hall. Additionally, just last week, we started, we put together Ppe Packs for our senior citizens. They contain KN95 masks, a shield, some hand sanitizer, and some helpful tips. And those are available to any seniors that might need some PPE. And also some people might see with our launch of some new social media accounts, if residents follow us, and on Twitter and Instagram, you can receive a free Holmdel masks. Some of them say there's no place like Holmdel, and some just say Holmdel, New Jersey. And those masks are cloth masks, but they do have a slot to put a filter in to add extra protection, which is recommended by the CDC. So if you follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, you can get a free No Place Like Holmdel mask. So just some of the things that we're doing out of the offices. And that's all I have for tonight. But as always, I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate the update. Counselor, any updates from legal?
Hi, good evening, Mayor. I don't have anything specific, but certainly available if you or any members of the committee have any questions.
Thank you. None being seen, I'll go around to boards and committees. Committeeman Santana, can I start with you this evening?
Sure. So I have an update for all three boards or committees. The first one is the Finance Committee. We had a good meeting and Bill gave us an update on where we are in terms of our revenues. So that was a very good meeting for everyone on the committee to understand what our discretionary budget is and whether we are receiving anticipated revenues across the board or is there any shortfall. So that was helpful. The second item was the planning board. I don't know if basically the meeting was about choosing our professionals. That was the key item on the agenda. And we did make the decision on the planner and the engineer and the attorney as well. The third item is the Emergency Services Committee. We had a good meeting with the emergency services teams and was pretty much giving us an update on where they are and what they're expecting to request or budget for the year in 21. So that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Thank you for the update. Committeeman Critelli, any updates?
No report tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Committeeman Lucarelli?
Thank you, Mayor. I had the opportunity today to come up to Town Hall and meet with Sharon and some of the department heads in particular. Bill was very helpful and generous to spend time helping me understand the budget, how it's prepared and what goes into it. And as you know, you appointed me on the Public Works Committee. So I had an opportunity to meet Victor Stevens and then look forward to getting to know him and his staff a little bit better as the year goes on. And hopefully we'll have more to report at that time.
Thank you. Thank you. Deputy Mayor, any updates from you?
Yes, I have multiple reports as well. The Traffic and Bike Safety Committee has been meeting, and We, on Martin Luther King Day, spent several hours actually walking the path that we're looking at. And we're very excited about the potential to connect the town from the high school through F&F Nurseries, through Bell Works, via Bayonet Farms, and across to Blue Hills, and across either through the easement alongside Village or around the corner if that's not an option, across 520 to Cross Farm, which would then provide connection to Thompson. And from the other side of Roberts Road would also connect to Holmdel Park. So you basically connect so many different significant areas in town, 3 farms, F&F, Bayonet, and Cross Farm, or what were farms. The high school, you would have access to the bus at the Art Center if people want to commute from that direction, the post office, town hall, Holmdel Park, Thompson Park, and then our 3 major parks, as well as Village and Holmdel High School. So the next step in that process is I spoke with the township engineer today, and he's going to give us what's called a base map, kind of a conceptual design, but something a little better than our squiggly maps that we're trying to draw, so that we have a viable plan to present. And we'd like to hopefully be able to partner with the county and perhaps even with the Board of Ed to make this happen and be in a position to apply for grants for funding. So really tangible progress there. Likewise, with the Ad Hoc Committee on Human Relations, they have continued to meet weekly, and we are in the final stages of preparing our initial preliminary report. We hope to polish that up tomorrow evening and get it ideally to the Township Committee on Friday with our set of recommendations. And then the third is the Recreation Committee is scheduled to meet on February 1st, I believe, and has scheduled 6 meetings for the year per their charter. So we'll begin to have discussions with them as well. And I would just want to say thank you to Sharon and your staff for getting out the PPE kits to our seniors. I think that's a really wonderful thing to be able to provide while we're all working on practicing patience right now. And perhaps, Sharon, you can address, unless the mayor intends to, the challenges with the vaccine and the limited impact that the township has on that as well. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I appreciate that. So you know we have a good administrator when she updates everything that I had to update on, almost. So a couple things. We sent out a communication last night via social media for our local restaurants. Non-chain restaurants can apply for a grant through DoorDash. It can help you offset costs for either PPE or for outdoor seating that you need to have extra expenses for in order to accommodate your patrons in this COVID environment we're in. So information is on our website. I encourage any non-chain restaurant to get on our website and apply as soon as possible. We got it out literally as soon as the message came out that it was released yesterday evening, which follows on our suit, which we've been promoting all along since last February, March, which was really continue to support our local restaurants and businesses in town. They need our support, whether it's takeout or the limited indoor dining capacity they have. Continue to use your businesses in town and help them survive, because that all reverts back to what Committeeman Santana spoke about before, which is the revenue that our CFO is very concerned about, which is keeping our businesses alive and afloat. Talking about the COVID, so we're providing updates. We are seeing The hospital, Bayshore Medical Center, is fortunate that we have a facility in town that's offering the COVID vaccine. We put out a link in the communication email on Friday with their site. Unfortunately, their site has been, I literally spoke to their president of the hospital this evening. Their site has been overwhelmed with capacity. So the site's been struggling to stay afloat. They are managing a supply very closely. They get their supply from the state to the federal government once a week. They're hoping for increased dosages. They're not getting increased dosages. They could literally do more vaccinations today than they're able to do based on the supply. It literally is frustrating on all levels. So we have sent off a letter from the township via email, and I think went to the letter, regular mail to our congressman asking for more support and for potentially adding another vaccination site within our borders to help this continued vaccination effort, because it is super important. And I could tell by the amount of calls we get and emails on the town hall that it's on everyone's mind. Like, that is the number one thought right now, is getting scheduled for the vaccine and getting the vaccine. So there's not a day that goes by that we aren't trying to figure out a way to help the local businesses or the vaccination site, and lobbying with our federal elected officials to help that. So more to come. Please keep an eye on for updates. As we get more information, we'll certainly share it with the community. Anything, Sharon, I missed on the COVID vaccine?
I think you covered most of it.
Yeah.
We are trying, and you're right. We constantly are getting calls. So
Yeah. And then on the PPE, Deputy Mayor referenced it, Administrator mentioned it before. In the meantime, right? I don't think on the numbers we're going to have everyone vaccinated for quite some time. So trying to keep everybody safe. KN95s are a great way to do it. Hand sanitizer. We have bags. We've given out probably a couple hundred. We have more. Please, we're going after the senior community, and we want to keep our residents safe. So please reach out, administration, if you need any. We're in a touchless or contactless environment, so we're leaving them in the vestibule in town hall, which is always manned by a police officer, during our regular business hours. So we're keeping it in a safe, socially distant environment. So that is the update for tonight. Does anybody have anything else that I missed or wanted to add?
Got a question, Mayor.
Yes.
Regarding the Bell Works possibly being one of the vaccination sites. Can you update us on that?
So, VNA, the Visiting Nurses Association, which just happens to rent space in the Vonage building in Holmdel, contracted with the state of New Jersey to be an additional site for vaccinations. They are doing a soft, very low scale opening right now. They started yesterday, maybe 50. I think today they did 60. Tomorrow they may be doing 70 or 80. There is a website which has not been on. I had the staff look at it to see if they can get into it, just to make sure it works. We are hopeful that in the next couple days they get their website squared away and we can communicate it out to the residents. So potentially we may have 2 fairly significant vaccination sites in town. The challenge is the supply. They're both are very frustrated that they're not getting supplies that they can handle and are able to handle, because now it's not an issue. What it was early on was some places didn't have the staff in order, the vaccinators, the nurses and doctors to be able to distribute the vaccine. They have that. They just don't have the vaccine to be able to give. So we are hopeful that that continues to proceed, and we will share information as it becomes available. But I could tell everybody there is no walk-ins. The people at the VNA and Bell Works and the hospital made it clear. You can't pop in. You can't just walk in. You have to have an appointment. I know it's very frustrating. It's frustrating for a lot of people right now, getting on the website and getting an appointment, but they will not take walk-ins. You have to have an appointment before you can go on to the either facility to be able to get the vaccine. Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I just want to add the one website that I did have positive luck with is the Monmouth County wait list website. So there weren't appointments to sign up for, but you can sign up to be on their wait list. And it's my understanding they're working that wait list and notifying people a day in advance. And then you get an appointment and you go to Brookdale, where they're administering hopefully several thousand vaccines a week, if not more, when they get greater allocation. But I think the frustration with not being able to register, and I know because I've tried, it helps to be able to at least register for a wait list. And when you think about it, it might sound that last week the local news reported there were 11,000 people on the wait list. Well, if they're doing 2,500 a week and that gets increased even say to 3,000 a week, they'll be through that in 4 weeks. So it's not as daunting as it might sound. So I encourage people to use the Monmouth County vaccination waitlist site and at least get yourself in queue for if you're eligible. And that's only for those categories that have been noted as currently being eligible.
So correct. So the county right now, Sharon, if I remember from our call the other day, they're getting 2,500 per week. They're doing roughly 2,000 at Brookdale and about 500 at the AG building in Freehold.
Yes.
Yeah. So
today.
Yes, today. That could increase. They're hopeful it's going to increase as well. Everybody's very hopeful. Trust me, that the hospital would love to be able to do more. They have the staff, they have the resources, their operation is set. So we will continue to update everybody in the community because I know a lot of people are very anxious and want to get their first shot. So they start the immunity process. Anything else, guys, that I missed? Cool. None being seen, I will now, Carrie, we can open up for any public comment.
The first public comment is Gail Rubin.
Okay, well, I did write to all the township.
Yeah, Gail, just state your name and address for the record.
Okay, you know, I'll even take this off. Hello, I don't look great, but okay, my name is Gail Rubin and I'm at 26 Miller Avenue in Holmdel.
Thank you.
So my neighborhood is having a gigantic problem. And I do believe in property protection since we are taxpayers in our town and we do want our property protected. That's the main point. That's the main point of having a township committee. And I think every property should be protected. Not just taking the money from Bellworks and spending it because we have to spend it, but actually protecting property. That's number one in my book. So anyhow, we seem to be having wars with other towns. So, and it seems to be taken out on property owners who aren't really in the battle, but the politicians kind of do the battling or the lawyers, whatever. So I look for you for protection. So we are putting HUD housing in near Hazlitt's border. So it seems like a response is to put a 4-story Holiday Inn next to my neighborhood within 200 feet of housing. One right basically next to it, within the 200 feet, and somebody else. And then, you know, it's a tight neighborhood. So it gets hit very hard. with property values, and maybe our taxes will go down a huge amount because our property really won't be worth much after seeing a 4-story Holiday Inn from from your yard, or practically next to it. So anyhow, the main issue I have now, because somehow it got passed in 3 years, it didn't get fought enough to have this building, even though they did break tons of zoning laws to get it passed. Okay, but our pro bono lawyer didn't seem to be able to stop it. So anyhow, the next issue would be, they did do a survey. One of the next boarding neighbor saw a surveyor, and they marked some trees. So they'll probably be starting like very soon, knocking down a buffer zone of, I guess, 100, 200 trees. Then building a 4-story Holiday Inn with drainage going out to the end of the neighborhood, going through people's backyards into the sewer system that is now taking care of 50 houses in the neighborhood. And I'm not sure if they're going to do that. It's either that or go underground into the stream on the side. And we don't really have protection on our side from what this drainage system is going to do. So I am asking the township to get an engineering report to prevent a flood zone here, since this side of town seems to be getting flood problems, and this could create a problem. Plus, there's building on the other side of the highway. Costco, in front of Costco, the Bertucci's wants to build a Costco gas station, which would be a huge traffic problem, I see. And then the other side by Costco, the chicken fillet place. So you have all that building going on. I think it would be to the township's advantage to have an engineer report, because if there's a flood with the sewers, then I guess the township's responsible for their sewer system, and it might save money in the long run, and it might provide some kind of protection. If you could stop the Holiday Inn, that would be great from building, but I don't know. I don't know what you could do with that, but at least an engineer report. So, I mean, I've been here almost, let's see, since '83. I've been here almost 40 years. So. It would be nice to have some kind of protection with all our 50 houses paying taxes, and it's an old established neighborhood. I don't know, anything you could do to get an engineering report to prevent any kind of flood problem would help.
Okay.
And if you make a decision, I would like to know what it is.
Is that the timer, Wendy?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for your comments. I could tell you that we did receive your email. We are in discussions, nothing I could really say publicly right now, but we are looking at ways in which we can work within the law and protect our residents and from anything negative happening to your properties. Obviously, in protecting property values is paramount. So we have our professionals, which will go to for resources. We do not have control over zoning. That was a Hazel decision. I was there in 2017. I spoke out against the project, as you probably are aware, and continue to be an advocate to stop or at least reduce and minimize the impact on Holmdel residents. So more to come. Thank you for bringing it to our attention and sharing what you guys see locally, because sometimes we don't see the activity that's going on over there on a daily basis like you do. I ask you to continue to share that with me. I don't mind getting updates from you, what you're seeing, and I'll be more than happy to share with the staff at Town Hall and see how we can collectively work to try to come to some mutually acceptable arrangement, if possible, with what's going on in the property adjacent to your homes. Carrie?
The next public comment is Kim Weigand Casola.
Am I on?
Yep, you're on.
Okay. Kim Wygant Casola. I don't know if you need my address, 939 Holmdel Road. First, I'd like to congratulate you, DJ, on your win. I missed the last meeting, and I think it's refreshing to have a lifelong resident on our township committee and someone who is also familiar with agriculture and the lifestyle that we tend to live. It's a lot different than other people. I'm coming before the board because in the past 3 weeks, I have been visited on numerous occasions by police officers and various officials at several of my businesses. One time was even on a Saturday, which I know the code official does not work on Saturdays. And the dire situation was an alleged tent that I have at my winery, which I do not. I also had a code official come out because someone who identified themselves as the mayor's wife claimed we were desecrating a cemetery on Highway 34. That cemetery, ironically, happens to be a resting place of ancestors on my father's side of the family, and we are cleaning and doing respect that that cemetery deserves to have. I had police officers out at my vineyard on a Friday night, one of the coldest, windiest nights of the year, with a handful of customers for alleged social distancing issues. They came out again on a Saturday for alleged social distancing issues. If any of you know me at all, and I'm sure you're familiar with our businesses, we are lifelong residents here. We run our businesses above and beyond, and anyone who knows us is aware of that. All summer and fall, I hired private security to be at my winery to ensure that people were complying with our COVID regulations, along with those issued by the state of New Jersey. I find it very funny that I got a newsletter from the township committee encouraging residents to support local businesses and restaurants while I'm apparently being ripped apart. And also, in the spirit of our Holmdel Forward initiative, how we are going to continue to increase transparency and remain transparent. So with this being said, I would like to ask, who's going to be transparent enough to tell me what your beef is with me and why is this happening?
If I can interject, Ms. Casola, you're certainly welcome to make your comments. Given the fact that you threatened litigation through your attorney earlier today, it would be my advice to the committee not to entertain any response to your inquiry, but you could certainly continue with your comment.
Well, I just would like to know why this is occurring. And why are these falsehoods being spread, and who sent out someone on a Saturday? Because we all know that that would be overtime for a code official to be out on a Saturday. No comments?
Wendy, is the time up?
Time is up, sir.
All right, your 3 minutes are up. Thank you for your comment.
The next public comment is Ralph and Jenny.
Jenny Blumenthal, 41 Stony Brook Road in Holmdel. I have 2 questions. The first one should be really short, and it's probably Mike who's going to answer it. What is the current status of the New Jersey gas regulator litigation?
I don't have any update. Actually, the committee was curious about that earlier as well. There was briefing, post-trial briefing, so it's currently before the judge, who I would imagine is drafting an opinion, and I don't have any specific time frame on when we can expect an opinion.
I was pretty sure that's what you'd say, but I thought I'd ask anyway. The second question is, what are the ramifications of the agreement that you agreed to? I don't know whether it was the last meeting or one before that, between Cold Snack about the mulch situation at Cross Farm Park. Can you explain why this is advantageous to us besides making a bigger pile of mulch down there? And also, if Coltsneck is adding to our pile of mulch. Why are we paying Mazza to sell us mulch when we've got more than enough mulch in our own backyard? We don't need to buy it, it would seem to me.
Do you have any more questions or comments? Jenny?
Nope.
Okay. John?
Okay. I think I know which resolution you are talking about from a previous meeting. I don't have all of the details in front of me. This is an agreement that we've had with Coltsneck. This is, it was a renewal, so we've had it for a number of years. I don't know how many years off of the top of my head. So you should see no change in what has already been going on. And it's a composting, so it's their leaves and debris that comes, and they do pay us to get rid of it at the site. And so that's the benefit, that the township gets some money, and it has worked out very well to my knowledge so far.
Thank you. Carrie?
There are no other hands up at this time, Mayor.
All right. None being seen, I'll close public portion. Any motion from the committee to adjourn?
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.